Welcome back to 20 Side Adventures. This is Champion 201, and here we're going to talk about the champion causes. Causes are like subclasses that give you some core distinctions between a key class feature of the champion, which is their reaction ability. This is determined by the deity that you follow's alignment, which alignment has changed in 2nd edition. It is now either holy or unholy, and this will set forth a variety of causes that are available. With a special treat, I have a homebrew cause for my custom world that I will also share with you all here that I hope you will enjoy. If you guys like what we do here on the channel, please give a like and subscribe down below. Leave a comment. It is the easiest way to support the channel, and it is greatly appreciated. With no further ado, let's get into Champion 201. All right, 201, we're talking about causes. So some things to know about causes. They come with edicts and anathemas. So this will add on to what your deity expects of you. Specific champion's reaction is dictated by the cause you take. Relentless reaction adds the holy or unholy trait to this ability. And in exalted, you get a buff that you grant to your allies as well as whatever the reaction does. So here we start off with the unholy. And this is desecration. With desecration, you're always going to take what pleases you no matter what and who it hurts. You spread a malign influence across all you touch. The edict is to subvert or corrupt everything in your path that is pure or holy. Sow doubt among those holding ideals of purity and holiness. So you can kind of see right out the gate, if you're in a campaign that this is going to be a problem for, just don't pick unholy deities, guys. It's just so much work at the table. Your party members end up disliking you. Your GM's always annoyed if it's not a kind of evil aligned campaign to begin with. Be very careful taking unholy. And you know what? This is true for the holy ones too. The paladin can kind of get to be a little obnoxious. I know it's a bit of a joke, but the edicts and anathemas definitely get in the way of many, many decisions that happen at the table. And you should play those to their fullest because I think it's meaningful. But as a champion, you do have to be careful that you're just not running roughshod over your table with them as well. So lean into them, use them, create interesting stories. The whole party doesn't have to get along all the time, but you still have to do everything with the core concept that you are playing a teamwork collaborative game together. So keep that in mind. Desecration's reaction is the selfish shield. Your self-interest keeps you safe. You gain resistance against the triggering damage equal to 2 to plus half your level. So now this is true for all of the champion's reactions. It grants a damage reduction ability of 2 plus half your level. So I'm not going to read that, all of them going forward. In addition to this, you get to strike against the creature and deal an extra 1 spirit damage until the end of your next turn. The extra damage increases to 2 at 9th, 3 at 16th. So you're just getting free damage bonus against whoever hit you plus a damage reduction. At 9, the damage reduction changes to your charisma modifier as long as it's 3 or higher plus half your level. So you're going to get a little bit more damage reduction if you've leaned into charisma. And your exalted reaction is each enemy in your champion's aura takes a -1 status penalty to attack rolls against you until the start of your next turn. All right, next we have grandeur. This is the holy one. Now you'll notice the unholy didn't really have any anathemas because the edict is do whatever you want. So it's kind of hard to have some anathemas on that one. But grandeur, you are to provide a shining example to others. Enjoy and share beauty around you and keep yourself tidy and well groomed. Anathema is to despoil yourself by associating with fiends and unholy force. So this one you have to be kind of careful who you're working with. That really evil rogue might be a problem. So again, figure out how to play those things out at your table that are fun for everyone and not just being lawful stupid and the annoying paladin. Champion's reaction here is Flash of Grandeur. You can use this when an ally is damaged. You add that damage reduction as we had mentioned before, and the enemy is affected by the spell Revealing Light, which Revealing Light, as we see here, basically just puts a bunch of sparkling motes in front of their eyes and they are dazzled. If it was an invisible creature, they now become concealed, so that could be pretty handy. And you can see here, based on their save, the dazzle condition might last for a few successive rounds. On a success, you're at least getting 2 out of it. On a failure, it's pretty much the whole fight, and a critical failure, it's 10 minutes. So if it's an invisible creature and they're trying to get away, that could be pretty handy. At 9, the Relentless reaction adds a persistent spirit damage to the Revealing Light spell, and the Exalted reaction puts the Revealing Light on all enemies in your aura and does persistent spirit damage. So basically you get to protect your buddy and then drop a big AoE debuff and damage. Iniquity. This is unholy. This one does have an anathema, but its edicts are to destroy that which offends you or stands in your way. Take advantage of others, cheat, steal. So this one wouldn't be too hard to fit into most campaigns that are good-ish aligned. You're just the jerk in the party. Anathema, you bind yourself with a law other than that your deity requires. Bind yourself with a law is a pretty curious phrasing, and you do have some flexibility with that. But you just need to make sure you're not, absolutely restricted within the means of the law if you are playing an iniquity champion in a not totally evil campaign. Destructive Vengeance. This is a really interesting reaction, and this, again, because you're on the unholy side, it's when it damages you, but your reaction is to take more damage, which seems a little odd, but then you deal that same amount of damage in spirit damage to your enemy. This increases from 1d6 to 4d6 as you level up. You gain an additional 2 spirit damage for all attacks for the next round of combat. This increases as you level up. The level 9 version of this is going to put persistent spirit damage equal to your charisma modifier for anyone affected by the dice damage, and the exalted reaction deals half of the damage you return to the enemy to all enemies within your aura. So you deal that 4d6 extra damage, and then everyone are in your aura that's a bad guy takes half of that as well. Justice. This one is unaligned, so you do not have to be holy or unholy to be justice. In fact, your deity could be unholy and yet you still take justice. You are just simply not sanctified. The edicts are that you follow the law, respect legitimate authority or leadership, and anathema is not to take advantage of others or cheat. Retributive Strike, this one gives you that same damage reduction on your allies, and then you get to take a reactive strike. At 9, that reactive strike deals persistent damage equal to your charisma modifier, and then at 11 is all of your allies can take a reactive strike, though at a -5 multiple attack penalty. So that could be a pretty cool way to just suddenly have everyone be swinging. Liberation, this is also an unsanctified cause. It has the edicts to oppose slavery and tyranny, fight for others' freedom, to make their own decisions, respect choices others make for their own lives. Anathema, force or threaten someone to act a certain way, engage in slavery or tyranny. This one gives you Liberator Step, so again, same damage reduction, and then if someone is grabbed, restrained, immobilized, or paralyzed, they get to make a free save. And if they're none of those things, they can take a step as a free action. Relentless Reaction at 9 is if they did any of those grab, strained, paralyzed, etc., they now take a persistent spirit damage equivalent to your charisma modifier. And at 11, all of your allies in the aura get to take that free step, not just the person affected by it. Obedience, also an unaligned. The edict here is to enforce proper hierarchies, topple illegitimate hierarchies, and lead when you are the most suited to the task. So this could be really interesting if you don't really want to be the face of the party, but you want to kind of have that pull of your character maybe being pushed or forced into that. It could be kind of a fun growth arc. Anathema, let one who is lesser than you wield power over or lead you. That could also be kind of real interesting to see how that plays out. This is someone in your aura damages you, so you can tell this is maybe on the little more eviler side of their design matrix here. You put an impertinent foe who dared harm you in their proper place. Command your enemy to kneel before you in obedience. If they dare to refuse, they must pay the price of pain and anguish. The enemy makes a choice. Fall prone as a free action. Okay. Or deal 1d6 mental damage to the enemy. So it's either free damage or they'd fall prone. Kind of an interesting choice. This damage increases as you level up. Regardless of which they choose, you deal 1 additional spirit damage with your strikes against this target until the end of your next turn. At 9, if they refuse, they also take resistant spirit damage. And then Exalted, all the enemies in the aura have to make the choice to fall prone or take that spirit damage. Redemption, we are back onto the holy aligned here. The edict is to redeem those who commit wicked deeds, show compassion to others regardless of their authority or station. Anathema, kill a sapient enemy without offering a chance at redemption. So you cannot be in the murder hobo party and take redemption. So just keep that in mind. You're going to be real interested in taking prisoners. Someone is being damaged in your party. You can use this reaction if they're in your aura. And this gives them a choice similar to the last one. However, if they're mindless, they always have to choose refuse. So repent. The damage just doesn't happen. You get to negate the damage happening to your ally. If you refuse, the ally gains resistance, like all champion reactions give you. And then after the damaging effect is applied, the enemy becomes enfeebled 2 until the end of your next turn. So that's a pretty impressive debuff. Maybe the enemy will just decide that damage isn't worth it, especially if it was a low damage roll, but I mean, no damage or a pretty good debuff is a pretty solid reaction. At 9, they also will take persistent spirit damage equal to your charisma modifier. Notice a bit of a trend here. And then the exalted reaction is you add the damage resistance to your entire party over at my World Anvil. So if you are interested in this champion's cause, you're welcome to come on over here and steal it. But this was for my true neutral pantheon, because I still like alignments, though I don't have players use them. I think it's valuable in a divine aspect. And this is for my true neutral, and this is all about time and space. So we created the Temporal Warden. The edict is you must protect the flow of time and prevent those who would alter time's course and seek balance between the forces of good and evil. For in this balance, time may find its proper course. An anathema is, it is an anathema to diverge fate and create a discordance for your own personal gain. Champion's reaction, standard reaction of the damage reduction of 2+ your level, but this is a temporal rift that's kind of slowing the impact of the damage essentially. And as a reaction, the target of your reaction may step into that rift and teleport 5 feet per charisma mod. And then this points out to me I haven't renamed this since everything changed for remaster. So thanks to this video, I know what I need to update on my World Anvil. But at the level 9 here, if your ally steps through the flux in time, you may create a balance and reduce the temporal footprint of the attacker. The target must succeed a basic will save against your class DC or become slowed 1 for 1 round. And then the exalted, your temporal influence can benefit multiple of your allies. All allies within 15 feet may spend a reaction to step through the gap in time and teleport 5 feet per your charisma modifier. So there you guys have it. Those are the causes. Choose your causes wisely, as they are not necessarily tied to your deity. But do keep in mind those restrictions. And also remember, your edicts and anathemas are stacking. So whatever your deity requires of you, plus whatever now your cause requires of you. All right, guys, that is all I've got for you here in Champion 201. Let me know your favorite cause down below in the comments. As always, if you like what we're doing here, please give a like and subscribe and leave those comments. It's the easiest way to support the channel. Going to wish you a fantastic time on your 20-side adventures, and we'll catch you next time.